Hey vinyl community, it's Michael. Welcome back to Near Wild Heaven. Today's video I'm going to show albums that are turning 50 in 2023. But before I get started, I want to thank everyone who watched my last video. I reached 1,000 views on that video, so thanks a lot for that. And also thank you to everybody who subscribed in the last couple of weeks. So I hope everybody had a happy Christmas. Hope you had a great holiday. And so let's just get started here. First up, this is the Grateful Dead, Wake of the Flood. This is their first album they recorded for their own label that was distributed by United Artists. This has a really cool label to it. I'm going to show you that. It's really cool. It's the same thing on the other side. I like the artwork on that. It looks really cool. But great album. Really good stuff from the Grateful Dead. If you don't know about this album, you can check it out. It's one of their later albums, but it's really good. So typical Grateful Dead stuff. If you like them, you should like this album. The Grateful Dead, Wake of the Flood. Up next, this is Led Zeppelin, as if you didn't know. This is Houses of the Holy, their fifth album. Yeah, this is a great album. You know, what more is there to say about it? I mean, Over the Hills and Far Away, and No Quarter, and Dire Maker. All the songs on here are just great. You know, it's a pretty good, solid Led Zeppelin album. And 50 years old coming up in a few weeks. So there you go. Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy. Up next, this is Iggy and the Stooges, Raw Power. This album set the template for punk that was going to come in a few more years. But great album. Everybody knows this one. I've heard the Iggy remix of this that came out in the late 90s, and it's pretty good. But this version, the David Bowie mix, is the one that everybody's used to. You know, it was 30 years this was out before Iggy did the remix of it. So I kind of prefer the Iggy mix because that's the one you're used to. But still, the remix Iggy did, it was pretty good. So, but classic album, everybody knows this. Great album by the Stooges, Raw Power. And up next, David Bowie, Aladdin Sane is, I'm not sure which, I know this is the one that came out after Ziggy Stardust. It's probably like his fifth album, sixth album maybe. But yeah, great album. Not a whole lot needs to be said about this. Great songs, Gene Genie, Drive-In Saturday, Panic in Detroit, Cracked After. It's all good. Bowie was at his peak in this. I mean, he went on to do a lot more, even more better things, but at the time this came out, this was like his best album. So there you go for that. David Bowie, Aladdin Sane. Up next, this is Robin Trower, twice removed from yesterday. Robin Trower, of course, was a guitarist for Procol Harum. He left, I'm not sure which album after he worked with Procol Harum, which album it was they were doing when he quit. But this is his, I think, his second solo album. Great stuff on here. I Can't Wait Much Longer, Daydream, Man of the World, Twice Removed from Yesterday. Great album. Really good guitar work from Robin. His main influence was as a guitar player was Jimi Hendrix. So there's some great guitar work on this album. Really good. Robin Trower, Twice Removed from Yesterday. Up next, another classic. Everybody knows this. Rolling Stones. No, it's Goat's Head Soup. Duh. Man. But yeah, great album. Everybody knows this. Really not a lot to say about it. You all know it. Angie was the big hit off of this. Great album. I mean, Do 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 Heartbreaker was really good. All kinds of stuff on here. Dancing with Mr. D, Coming Down Again. It's all good. Everybody knows this album. I don't really need to explain any more about it. But there you go. Rolling Stones, Goat's Head Soup. Up next, Alice Cooper, Billion Dollar Babies. This is the original band. Alice Cooper, this kind of coming off there. You got that. This was in there like that. It kind of came undone. But then it's got the Billion Dollar Bill. But great album. Hello, Hooray. Elected, I Love the Dead, Sick Things, and title track Billion Dollar Babies. Great album. What can I say? Everybody knows this one too. Alice Cooper, Billion Dollar Babies. Up next, New York Dolls, their first album. Great album. Really good stuff. This was another kind of a influence on punk rock. It would come out in a few years. The inner sleeve there. But really good stuff. You all know it. Looking for a Kiss. Personality Crisis. Vietnamese Baby. Just full of really great songs. It's a classic album. So happy to have this one. There you go. New York Dolls, first album. Up next, the Pink Fairies, Kings of Oblivion. This was their last album. They had gone through a few personnel changes over the course of the 3 albums that they did put out. The guitarist on this one is Larry Wallace, who later went on to be in Motorhead. But yeah, great stuff on this from the Fairies. City Kids, I Wish I Was a Girl, When's the Fun Begin. It's great stuff. Pink Fairies. If you don't know about the Pink Fairies, check them out. If you like hard rock, kind of proto-punk, this is really good. So all their albums are really good, really. So Pink Fairies, Kings of Oblivion. Up next, Funkadelic, Cosmic Slop. I'm not sure which number this is in their category or catalog. There you go for that. But great album. I think this is the one that came out right after Maggot Brain. So this came out in 73. Maggot Brain came out in 71. I don't know. There might have been one in between, but really good stuff. Nice and funky, just as you would expect from Funkadelic. But great album. Funkadelic, Cosmic Slot. Up next, Mott the Hoople. Mott. This was their album after their big breakthrough album, All the Young Dudes. This was the next one after that. Really good stuff. Great songs all the way from Memphis, Honolulu Boogie, Driving Sister, I Wish I Was Your Mother, I'm a Cadillac. Really good stuff. This is one of my favorite albums from my teenage years. A big Mott the Hoople fan, as you can tell right there. The album that came out after this. But this one, great album from Mott the Hoople. Just called Mott. Great stuff. Up next, this is 10 Years After, A Space and Time. This was, I think, their first album they did for Columbia, but really good stuff. You know, exactly what you expect from 10 Years After. Great guitar work from Alvin Lee. The songs like One of These Days, Here They Come, and of course I'd Love to Change the World, which was their big hit off of this. But great album from the gang. If you like 10 Years After and you don't know about this album, you should check it out. Great album. 10 Years After, A Space and Time. Up next, this is Steve Miller Band, The Joker. Really good album. This was the beginning of his more commercial side, I guess. After this, he went on to do like Fly Like an Eagle and Book of Dreams. But this was the beginning of the more slicker production, more commercially oriented songs. And I like the commercial Steve Miller Band up to a certain point. I think after Book of Dreams, which came out in '77, I think after that I kind of lost interest in him. But this album and every album he did before this one, all his '60s stuff, is excellent, excellent music. So if you don't know about this album, I'm sure everybody knows, most people know about this. But if you don't, check it out. It's a great album from the Steve Miller Band, The Joker. And this one, I don't even know how to say anything about this. This is just Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. You all know this. It's typical. I don't know if they're going to do a 50-year anniversary edition of this. I don't know why they wouldn't, but again, I don't really need it. Maybe somebody out there will want one, but this is the version that I bought when it first came out. The posters and stickers are long gone, but the album's still in great shape, and that's all that matters to me is the music. But there you go, Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd. And got one more here. This is The Who, Quadrophenia. Really good album by them. Their second rock opera. They tried to do another one after Tommy that was going to be called Lifehouse, but somehow that fell through, and the songs that Pete Townshend had written for Lifehouse became Who's Next, the album Who's Next. And but this album, great stuff, really good songwriting on this from Townshend, just really good stuff. Really ambitious for the time. The Real Me, Punk Meets the Godfather, I've Had Enough, Sea and Sand, Drowned, Bellboy, Dr. Jimmy, all really good. I don't know if anybody's ever seen the Quadrophenia movie. It's pretty good as far as movies go, I guess. But the original album is the best. The music on this is so good. Um, I don't know what more to say about it. It's just a great album by The Who. Um, and there you go. That's albums that are turning 50 in 2023. So once again, thanks to everybody who subscribed, who watched my video and made it go up to 1,000 views. I'm really happy about that, and hopefully I'll be getting more views with the videos in the coming year. And I hope everybody has a happy new year, and take care, everybody, and I'll see you in a few weeks. So take care.